I think it's probably fair to say in closing that the true success of a collection can be measured in the demand for the high complications within that collection. Is that a fair general comment?
So this is one of Luca and I's challenges right now is we're at capacity with high complications. And what we mean by that is we can't produce more until we train more watchmakers, more engineers, more technicians, more space, which is a very great position to be in some respects, because that means the demand is very, very healthy. And 5, 6, 7 years ago, complications were good at Audemars Piguet. They were always beautifully made, but the demand wasn't as strong as they are today. And code and concept developments have had a lot to do with the increased energy and enthusiasm, because we've been able to open up our complications to a much wider scope of potential clients. Many people have been waiting for something different in that regard. So even just looking at perpetual calendars or tourbillons, for example, the code 1159 entries are as desirable, as sought after as the Royal Oaks in those same categories. Also, the quantities are quite similar because they're all very small. So for example, the Code 1159, this watch over here that I'm wearing, the 26399, we produced 50 examples in white gold, 50 examples in two-tone. The offshore that we're releasing based on the same movement is 100 pieces. So the exact same quantities, code divided into two models, offshore into one, but the exact same quantities in that regard. And both, of course, very much sought after in that sense. So right now the choices are challenging because we can grow the code collection more and sell more, but if we produce more, that means less Royal Oak, less concept. So there's always a decision to make each year to balance the portfolios in a great way that will allow each collection to be able to grow and to develop. A year like this, in addition, we had, of course, the concept Black Panther in 250 units. So that's 250 tourbillons absorbed through concept, 42 millimeter new case, not including the concept GMT, which is 44 millimeters. So it's just like our perpetuals. When you start breaking down, you start to realize how few there are of any individual model and how much intention and time and effort is put into each and every one of those creations. And I would say that's the coolest part of our teams working together is the excitement of the men and women behind the bench, behind the computers, their interest in the client reaction and the sales performance. Now we're doing constant updates. So sure, my teams are getting more empathetic on the creation process, but Luca and the teams on the creation side are closer to the client reactions and the sales performances than ever before. And I think you're doing updates, actual sale updates now regularly on all of the models that we're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. With the team, they want to know, because they made some choices in terms of designs, in terms of engineering process, and they want to get those feedbacks, they want to get those updates on certain performance to decide if they need to reuse those ingredients for future models, or if there are something they just simply should abandon.
Right, or plant new seeds altogether. And that's really where we're excited about right now. We look at it, you said, the idea of planting seeds. We have these different ecosystems, but they all, as they grow, they come to share many principles as well. And we're looking at very healthy and strategic growth plans for concept, Royal Oak, offshore, and Code 1159 through the lens of complications. There's a very specific strategy to make sure we keep doing what we've excelled at, but also to keep introducing new complications, new techniques, new features, new aesthetics, new designs in the years to come. And this is really where that, back to that cross-pollination, that informing of each other, while also keeping the distinct identities fresh in between the collections that come in. So in recent years, the Code 1159 we've launched some new complications that have then come onto other collections, and the reverse will be true in the future as well. You might see a new complication debut on a concept or on a offshore or Royal Oak, and then it will be re-engineered and reimagined for the code. And other times, there'll be movements conceptualized just for one collection. It's made and born for that collection and cannot be reimagined. That will be more limited on code and on concept, where we can really think outside the box in extreme ways.
And I was going to ask, gentlemen, as a final, what we talked about the journey of code 1159, what comes next, but I think you've given us many hints in that last closing stanza, Michael, so I will not ask that question because I know you can't tell me anyway. I was going to ask how hard it must be to not spill the beans on what is coming, but I will not waste precious airtime teasing you in that way or teasing our viewers. Thank you so much for that. Very thorough and very interesting and divergent at times, because it always is in these narratives. That it's never a straight line. But I feel like we've really given a great broader context and really deep understanding to what's been and what continues to be a really exciting new frontier for Audemars Piguet.
Thanks so much, Andrew. It's been a pleasure to see you, as always. Can't wait to see you in person. Hopefully that's going to happen sooner than later.
Indeed. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Luca.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.